Hi, welcome to For the Culture Canada. I'm your host, Deepak Batty. And I know I say this every single time I have an interview, but I'm so excited about these next guys that I have on. First of all, it literally feels like, to me, the closest thing that I can get to talking to the Stranger Things cast, because these guys are friggin' great at what they do. They basically make videos on the internet with numbers ranging up into the six figures in terms of in terms of views. They just had 103,000 views just in the last 30 days on their channel, which is crazy. Their videos are smart, they're funny, they're engaging, and honestly, I'm just so excited to have these guys. I've been binging their videos all morning. So from TMS Productions, I have Tommy Dewitt, I have Stephen Kucher, and Mitchell Kucher. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
What? Thank you for having us.
Of course. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it a lot. Now, I wanted to first get into your history a little bit. First, just sort of one by one, I'd like to hear what your history was and where you guys came from and how you got to basically where you're at now.
Are we talking about where we were born and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, so me and Mitch, we're twins, and we were born in Prince Rupert, British Columbia. And then when we were 6, we moved to Kelowna, and then now we've just been living here, and then, that's it.
I was born in Kelowna. Tommy. I was born in Kelowna, and I guess, we all went to the same elementary school, Watson Road. And then we never were friends, really. Then middle school, we started becoming friends. And then by grade 9, I kind of was like, okay, well, you guys made videos before. I made videos before. Let's do it together. And since then, we created our channel, TMS, and here we are.
Damn. So, was your video style pretty similar back then, or how different was it when you guys were making videos?
I have to say it has evolved, but one of our main things is that we try to make things look as professional as possible right off the bat. So it's just kind of we've always strived to do the best, get the best quality, get the best audio and all that kind of stuff with what we have. And it just, I don't know, it's worked out, I guess, because people enjoy what we make.
Yeah, totally. Now, the thing is, it's not that it's just your videos look professional. It's not just that your colors look really good or the sound effects are really great. But what you guys do is that you guys capture emotion really well. What you guys do is that you actually create a very compelling reason to watch your videos, because by the end of it, even myself, I want to go out and go on an adventure somewhere, and just be productive. That's what you guys do in your videos. And you guys are great storytellers, and that's the key to what you guys do.
Thank you. It all started kind of in our early days. It was all like everybody, it's montage videos with just visuals and music, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then lately we're kind of okay, we got to add a little more personal aspect into it. So let's start filming ourselves, and let's start doing it more vlog style. Because YouTube, you get to know the people through the videos because they talk to the cameras and that kind of stuff. So we're okay, we might have to start getting more personal and see where that takes us. And so far it's turned out really good. We've gotten really good at talking to the camera and that kind of stuff, because it used to be really awkward at the beginning, but now it's pretty good.
Right. How did you guys get into filmmaking in the first place?
I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I got a GoPro in grade 7, Hero 3 White, pretty bad.
Hey.
And there you go. And then I just started filming with my friend Chris. Had my old YouTube channel. I'm not going to tell you the name, but they were questionable videos, but a lot of ski edits, that kind of thing. Like Mitch said, a lot of montage, and then I kept going. Then in grade 9, how did you guys start?
Well, that was basically, I think we made family videos. We had some horrible camcorder that we just decided to make videos on, and then we got there's this book, and it's kind of how to do practical effects for kids or whatever, and so we just go through that book and we do some of these cheesy effects. It was for Premiere Pro 8, if you remember that.
That's
Premiere
old.
Elements 8.
Yeah.
And then because for Christmas we got a camcorder which shoots 720, and we got a Premiere Pro Elements 8, this editing software. So we got those two things because we like to make videos, and we would do it with friends and family and just make stuff. We love the green screen thing where you'd get in front of the green screen, you can make things float and disappear, and you can also masking where you can go behind a lamp and you'll be gone or something.
Right.
So it's so we did that for a bit, and then our parents got us this camcorder and editing software for Christmas, and then we're like, oh, this is crazy. So we kind of made videos. We set up a big green screen in our basement, had all this stuff, and then eventually we kind of like lost interest in it a bit because we would do it with me and Steven. We have 2 older brothers who are twins as well.
Oh,
so there's
wow.
2 sets of twins in our family. So there'd be a whole army of people working on these videos, and we would just kind of like just do whatever we wanted. We do it with like family members and stuff. And then eventually we kind of like lost interest. And then a little later down the road, Tommy's like, oh, we heard that he makes videos. We got a GoPro just for skiing and stuff. And then he's like, oh, like we kind of became friends. And he's like, we should make videos together. And at first we're like, nah, that's stupid. Let's not, because that's weird. Why would you make videos? And eventually we kind of warmed up to the idea like, okay, let's actually make videos. Let's do this. And then so we started making a video, and we filmed one time a sled edit or a sledding video that we did. 2013, we filmed us sledding. That was like our first video that we ever filmed, and then we kind of edited together, but never posted anywhere, of course. But yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
Okay.
We may post that in the future sometime.
We'll see.
That'd be
We
cool.
might post our reaction to it or something, do a kind of a reaction video to it.
It's incredibly cringy. So
50,000 subscriber special.
maybe.
Yeah. That's crazy. And you guys, by the way, congratulations on hitting 10,000 subscribers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys started your YouTube channel March 29th, 2015, which is like actually pretty recent.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of funny because in our original TMS logo, it was horrible, but we had like this thing that said established 2015, and it always looked really cheesy because it would be like only 2016. So it's only a year old, or maybe in 2015. Yeah. And so now if we were to bring that logo back, it would actually look cool because it's like a few years ago. So there's actually some history behind that.
True.
Yeah.
And I also remember at the beginning stage, like we were like, okay, let's make a YouTube channel. And then so one day we always Skype together when we're making our videos. So like we can all, it's not like we have to come over to each other's houses and edit. We do it over Skype, and you can share screens and stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember we were on Skype one day, we were just chatting, and we're like, okay, let's make a YouTube channel. I was like, okay, so type it in, whatever. What should we call it? And then we're like, I don't know. So we're kind of humming and hawing, and then eventually, let's do TMS Productions. But I'm sure we'll change it in the future. Let's just do it as a placeholder for now because, we don't know what to call it yet. So, okay, TMS Productions. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to make the logo. So I made the little first logo that we had, TMS Productions, because it was a placeholder, and we were going to fill it in with something else, which is our initials.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Tommy, Mitchell, Steven. And then eventually we're like, okay, so we have this. And then we're like, okay, so in like 2 months' time, we're going to be at 10K subs. Easy. We're so into it and so all about ourselves, and kind of like we thought we were so good, and like there's gonna be so many people watching us. Like I'm calling it 2 months 10K, maybe 6 months after that 100K, and we're gonna hit 1 million in a year.
I remember grade 9 social studies where me and Tommy were in the same social studies. We're sitting there watching this like video, and it's like super boring, whatever. So I remember I was just thinking about like YouTube. We had just created this thing like literally a week ago, and I'm thinking, and I leaned over to Tommy. I'm like, yeah, like I think in like, I give it a month, like June maybe, we'll be at like 800, like maybe 1,000 subs. And I was so like YouTube inept at the time that I had no idea. I thought, oh yeah, you release these videos to the world, everyone's just gonna love them. And then sure enough, we released our first video, and it got like 1,000 views, and we were just like losing our mind. But we didn't realize that's just because it was incredibly cringy. Like it was a skateboarding video.
It's privated on our channel now. You can't go see it.
It was that bad. And
Might
so
also bring that one back eventually, but we're not ready for that.
100K special, maybe. And so I was like, yeah, we're just going to be like famous after this. It's going to be great. And then sure enough, after the first month, we had like 3. And we're like,
and
okay, it's not going.
Video we would post would get like, so we'd post like in the first, I think it was like 2 or 3 months, we posted like 3 or 4 videos. The first one got like, it got 100 views in a day, which we thought was like, wow, that's incredible. And then eventually, I think now it's at 1,000, but we've privated, so now there's no more. But every other one is like 20 views and 30. So everybody who ever makes a YouTube channel knows that their first couple videos get like no views whatsoever. And we had 400 subscribers for the longest time ever. Like it was for the first 2 years we had 400 subscribers, because that was all of our friends, and that's it. Friends, family, that's it. And then it was only when we posted that Sam Kolder video, the analysis video, which we did for a video project in school, because the project was, okay, you have to analyze a video clip. And then we're like, okay, well, we've done this before last year, so why don't we kick it up a notch and do a video analysis? And like, let's do Sam Kolder. So we did this, put it all together, we posted it, and then it was like we got from that one video we gained 8,000 subscribers. So we went all the way, 8,500. So we were at 9K within, I think it was
That
like
was a year.
That was in a year. Over this whole year, we got 9K through this one video, mainly through this one video.
Yeah.
And then we posted exactly a year to the day, which we didn't plan, the next Sam Kolder video, which now is at 50,000 views or something. But that got us
Wow.
another 3,000. So now we're at 12.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Now, by the way, do you guys strategically just tag your videos? Is that why like they get so?
No, we found that Sam Kolder is a very popular subject to do
Yeah,
videos
yeah.
on, and we just it's not like we planned this at all. But like the first one was totally a fluke. We just found this. People loved it. Well, actually, in the first week, it did like all of our other videos. We only got like 100 views or if that. And then it was one day we were all on a hike or something, and I remember checking my phone, like just like the YouTube Studio app.
Yeah.
I check it, and out of nowhere, it had 500 views, and I'm losing my mind because I'm like, holy, like what's going on? And then over that same day, it got like 1,500 views and just kept going up and up, and we're just like, this is it. We've made it. We're like famous now. What are we gonna do with all this money? But yeah, so it just did well. And
I was just gonna say with that video, what really helped us was we sent it to Sam.
Yeah.
A bunch of different ways, but he actually saw it in the end and he shared it on his Facebook, which helped us quite a bit. It just got us a little bit of a boost.
Okay.
Going off, and then the same one with the Sam Kolder analysis we did just a few weeks ago. What?
on a budget.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Sam Kolder on a budget we did
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. We sent it to him. Eventually, he saw it, but this time he didn't repost it, which
Right.
was kind of annoying. But it was also cool because that means it was all our own, success. It wasn't because Sam gave us a shout out. It was
Yeah.
because people found it themselves.
That was a great video, by the way. The Sam Kolder on a budget video was so sick. Like,
Thank you.
especially I feel like, to me, the highlight of that was the helicopter video.
Yeah, that's
Or,
basically,
sorry, helicopter
that's basically
scene.
what we based the entire video on. We were just
got the whole idea for this video.
yeah,
Really?
because I got this minivan
Yeah.
for free.
What?
I gotta preface that just because it is such a piece of crap. But like I got this.
We got it from our grandparents.
Yeah, I got it
Oh.
for free. I didn't have a vehicle, so I'm like, okay, if it moves, that's all I need. That's
Describe
that's
the
great.
van.
So it's a 1999 Dodge Caravan. It's tan, or actually, champagne pearl is the technical color for it. And then all we did is one day. So I think someone was in the back and they did the doors. They're like, this would be great if it was like a helicopter or whatever. And we're like, okay, we can frame this up to make it look like a helicopter. And so we just threw that in the video. And then through that, we just kind of like snowballed into like, oh yeah, we just kind of recreate one of his videos and then do everything on a budget. And then that's how that came to.
Damn, that's
fruition, I guess.
crazy. Now, was it that like Sam Kolder initially got hold of the first video and then you started getting all those views, or was it that like you started getting all those views, then he like reposted it?
Yeah.
It was like a
It's like we were getting a bunch of views, then he shared it, then he got some more, but then it slowed down again, and then it picked up steam on its own kind of thing.
It's kind
Right.
of funny though, because every time he uploads a video now, we kind of get a spike in views just
Yeah.
because it's tied to him and it's like his views
Yeah.
or like his subscribers or whatever.
Yeah, that was incredibly well done. Like that was
Thank you.
that was very pro level right there. Yeah, it's super cool. And in terms of your other influences, you also have David Dobrik, who you
Yeah.
guys made a video on, and he actually commented on
Yeah,
it.
that was nuts.
That is crazy. That blew my mind. Honestly,
It was actually a funny story because we made that. We're like, okay, let's start doing maybe an analysis video every month or two. Like, let's maybe do some, like, we like these video essay styles and we like
Yeah.
to challenge our creativity and see what we can come up with. So we did Sam Kolder, and then we're going to, like, let's do David Dobrik. Like, why not? So we put this whole video together, we post it, and we try to tweet it at him. Nothing. So it's kind of like, okay, it's gaining a little bit of steam, like, not very much. And then it was like probably 2 months down the road, I'm like, whatever, I'm going to try tweeting at him one more time. So I tweeted at him. Sure enough, within 10 minutes, I look on our the app there, the YouTube app, and it says, David Dobrik has commented on your video. And we're like, holy cow. Okay,
Oh.
cool. So
Yeah, so we made that video on David. Mitch tweets it at him again. He sees it, and that was right before he posted his big joke is like 420. So right,
big 14-minute video.
So he made this 420 vlog, which he was like hyping for months, and it was like a week or so before that he saw our video. And in the video, I don't know if we influenced him at all. That's what we're thinking. We might have influenced him a little bit, but we had this bit where we compared his vlog to the show Full House, or like Friends or like that kind of sitcom.
Yeah.
With the whole titling, the same fonts and everything. And then we watch his video and it opens up with him like recreating like Full House or that, and he saw it a week before. So we're like, did we might have influenced him?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Probably not, but we just we like to think that because we had something to do with this.
Yeah, that's so fun. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Who else would you guys say is your influences? Can I guess one or two?
Sure, yeah.
Obviously, Casey Neistat
That's like everybody's. That's a classic.
Yeah.
and Peter McKinnon.
I don't watch him that
Yeah,
much.
we don't actually watch a lot of him. I watch him for his tutorials and stuff to see what
Yeah.
he does, but I don't actually watch a lot of his vlogs and that kind of stuff. I know of him, and I've watched him in the past, but not currently. So.
I'd say, yeah, a huge one for us, which is like, they don't make videos anymore really, but Jack Scat back in the day.
Okay.
They were more like kind of vloggy style, like, I don't know.
They were typical British
Yeah,
vlogger.
We
It was just
loved.
Yeah, like they're like, they're like classic, yeah, basically. Anyway, their style evolved over time. They started getting really, really good at filmmaking, and we noticed it's part of the reason like our channel colors is like the exact same as their original ones, blue and white, which we did subconsciously, I think, because we love them so much. But they were a huge influence because they showed how you can have really good quality videos, but also have a personality on YouTube and do it weekly. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where we got the whole concept for.
Oh, so that's where you got the idea for the 52.
that was just because we
Dairy Queen. Remember that?
Dairy Queen. Yeah, we're sitting in a Dairy Queen parking lot. This is where we created the whole idea in August for this Out of
Oh.
52 series. And it's kind of funny because we were like, okay, we are going to take a year off. We all planned on taking a year off, but we had no idea what we're going to do. Like, sure, we could make videos for the internet or whatever, but like we had no kind of schedule or anything that we would actually stick to. So we're like, what if we just did a video every week, because we were planning on going weekly, and then we just do out of a year, and we were like, let's call it Out of 52, because there's 52 weeks in a year, and we just have each video be 1 out or like 9 out of 52 or whatever the number is out of 52, because eventually once we get to the end, that's going to be 52 out of 52.
Yeah.
And so we were just sitting there, we're like analyzing other people's styles. Like, we're like, okay, we need personality, we need this, we need that, until we finally came up with this full-fledged idea for this video series, and now we're currently doing it.
Wow. Do you guys have any sort of like business or research background when it comes to like development of or just marketing your brand?
No. I don't want to sound like
Our biggest marketing is Instagram at the moment. We just post on Instagram. That's it.
I don't want
Yeah.
to. Yeah, I don't want to sound like, I don't know, I guess super like, I don't know. I don't know. You call it cocky, I guess. But it's kind of funny because a lot of people are like, how the heck are you only at like what 10,000 subscribers? Like, your content is like amazing. How are you even like? How are you not blown up yet?
Yeah.
And I think it's just because, I don't want to sound cocky again, but it's just that people like our content. We just don't have the exposure that we need.
Yeah.
Like, people see it. The people who do see it, they like it and they subscribe, but not enough people see it in order for it to take off and gain traction.
In time, because as long as you're
Thank you.
consistent and you have good content, which you guys do, you'll get to eventually the place that you want to get to.
Yeah, that's what we found is like time, because we could have given up years ago, but we haven't.
Yeah, honestly, like even recently, like our last video, how to make the best YouTube banner video. Before, it would be like kind of sick if we got 100 views in a day.
Yeah.
Now we got 1,000 views in a day.
Yeah.
Which is, we did. We got 1,000. I know. Steven is shocked.
Realize that within 24 hours we got 950 views, and we're like, wow, that's
so cool.
incredible. Like, before, this would be unheard of.
Yeah. That's so cool. And with this new schedule that you have going on, obviously with the rest of your lives, you're very busy people. Do you plan on still making analysis videos? Because they seem to be doing quite well for you guys.
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest challenges is that going into, like, we do a lot of like filming outdoors, but in Kelowna, it gets quite disgusting in the winter with all the snow, and it gets dark.
Slush
so we have to
and-
start figuring out ideas that we can do like either indoors or like with the snow, but like we have to do more indoor ideas. So that's why we were thinking in the winter we'd probably go towards more analysis, but then it's not like we want to become an analysis channel. Like, we want to build a brand around us rather than just like us and analyzing stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I do like those videos though. You guys do a very good job with that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we definitely have some ideas lined up for them, but we're kind of just holding off until we kind of need to make them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And how do you guys come up with your ideas for your videos
that's a
every
good
week?
one.
Because like honestly,
Well, okay, probably 90% of the time it's off the cuff. Like, let's make a video this week about this. Like day of, like that banner video. So usually our filming days are Mondays, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then editing days are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is also a filming day. We don't
Right.
work on that day. But it was Sunday night. Was it? No, Monday morning. It was Monday morning. I hop on Skype. Tommy's there. He's like, okay, so we had this little kind of idea, like, okay, we need a new channel banner. Let's make a video about a channel banner. And we're like, okay, how? Like, what's this video going to contain? So then we're like humming and hawing. Eventually, we're like, okay, why don't we all three of us make one? Let's turn it into a contest, and then we can actually like get people to vote in the comments and see which one comes out on top. And then now we're like, shoot, we got to come up with 3 ideas for a channel banner. Like coming up with one, same day, probably all within like an hour.
wow.
We're like, okay, now we need 3 ideas, which coming up with one is sometimes hard enough. You gotta
Yeah.
think like, oh, what should we do? So then we're like scrolling through hundreds of channel banners, like just to seeing what they're doing and getting inspiration eventually. And eventually we're like, Stephen, he's like, okay, I have one idea. I want to do it in the alleyway at night. I want to put water on the road. If you've seen the video, we can't
He
end
almost
up
got
doing.
stabbed.
Yeah, I almost got stabbed for that. Not for that, but anyways. So Stephen had that idea, and he's been kind of wanting to do that like for like the last couple of weeks. So he had his idea, and then me and Tommy were like, okay, now we need ideas. So I thought. I had 2 ideas. Mine were to do a retro theme in like an arcade with like neon lights and that kind of thing, and also doing weird things in suits.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, what could we do in suits? There was either mowing the lawn, someone's clipping the roses, and the other guy's like, I don't know, like spreading fertilizer, right?
Okay,
that kind of thing, in a suit, which is kind of like, whoa, okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then another one was repairing a car, and then Tommy's like, okay, I'll do that one. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do the retro theme. Stephen will do his, and we went from there.
It was like less of a, we're trying to compete against each other, and more of a, we need 3 ideas. And then Mitch just happened to have this sick idea of suits. And I don't think anyone really cared who did what. Yeah. We were just trying to see if we actually had any engagement on the video, which it turns out we did. But I think we all are happy with the banner, the suits banner. But I mean, all 3 of them turned out well.
I would have voted for Tommy. So
Yeah, I think we all would have voted for Tommy. I like that one. It's more manly than the other ones. Like it's like oh, suits fixing cars. It's not, we're in the arcade playing
Right.
games.
Yeah. And I mean, like, what was I going to say about that? Yeah, I think we all, it's not like mine specifically. That's where I think it kind of got skewed, because people thought it was, oh, this is Tommy's idea solely. It was like all of our collective ideas on kind of each one even.
Right.
So it's less of a, I like Tommy's the best, and more of like, oh, that one you guys all made is the best.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
we tried, like, obviously people had to be there for the idea when we're shooting the photo, but we just did it. So if you'd be there shooting the photo, and then you'd edit it alone, and then we'd premiere it to all of each other. So we just don't see it. Just
Yeah.
there's some surprise and people like seeing reactions. So
It was good. I thought the way that you did it was well, because we saw your genuine reaction at the same time that we did. So we felt like we were a part of it, just
yeah,
like
exactly.
you guys.
That's what we tried to do.
Yeah, you guys pulled it off really, really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys seem to have like a really strong, I was saying this to you before we started the interview, that you guys have a seemingly very strong democracy between you guys here. Like you guys seem to hold, it's not like one person is like totally in charge versus everybody else. It's like you guys seem to have and no one seems to apparently get into any sort of like, no one gets pissed off because they get like poo-pooed about an idea or
We're all
anything.
pretty chill with everything. So,
Yeah.
and we all think relatively the same too. So we all like have this similar editing styles, similar like picture styles, and we all kind of want it to end up the same. So usually one person has an idea like, oh, it'd be a good idea if we did this. And the other guy's like, oh, but I think we should do this. And then eventually we're like, nah, let's do this way. And like we make compromises, and we're A-okay. Like if I don't get my way, I'm not going to throw a big tantrum about it.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
start some beef.
Yeah, exactly. No one gets upset about anything really. And in the end, we're all like, okay, it's trying to make the best video possible. If we keep arguing about a little thing, it's not going to get done. So I think we're all pretty good at compromising.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I think it works out well for you. Clearly, it's been working out for you still. What do you have by the time this episode, by the way, comes out? Your video will be out. It's actually coming out tomorrow. So, am I allowed to know right now what the video you have coming out tomorrow is?
Yeah, it's sure. It's about a scammer who. Well, Steven's
Okay, so I have I had an iPhone 6 that I was selling on Castanet. And so I put it up on Castanet, and then I get this message back that's like, oh, is your iPhone still available? I'm like, oh, no, I just sold it because I sold it that day and whatever. And then the guy's like, oh, do you have any more? And we're like, okay, that's kind of strange. Like, why would you be? I'm not a store here. I don't have multiple. So then just being like kind of funny, I'm like, oh, well, I have an iPhone 4. I got 2 of those if you want them. And he's like, alrighty, I'll take one. And we're like, dude, like, what's going on here? And then it was like, it's $50. He's like, okay, sure. And then the whole caveat to this whole thing was like, okay, I need you to send it to my daughter overseas. And so he sends me the address and whatever. The only thing is that it was in Nigeria.
Oh.
And so I'm like, and he's like, and then he said, okay, I'll pay for shipping over that. And then all I said was, I will only do it for I think it was like,
we were saying, Steven responds like, no, I think it's a good idea. Like, it's the best idea for you to come here and get it. Cause you don't want to deal with all that stuff.
Because then he said, oh, I'm a businessman. I'm out of the town right now. I made quick travel out of province, as he would say.
Oh,
and so,
weird.
And so he said, I said, I'm going to only do it for like $700. Like, you got to give me $700 up front. And then he said,
thinking he'd say no.
Sure enough, he says, yeah, alrighty, we'll do that. So anyways, we go through the whole thing. I'm like, dude, I can actually make some serious money with this. But it turns out that what happened is he's like, okay, give me your name and email and I'll send you a PayPal or whatever. So I obviously give him a fake one. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, I get this fake email and it's like this janky like PayPal email that he made like in Microsoft Paint or something, and it has Comic Sans all over it. He's like, payment funds, new funds, and there's like one of those squiggle things, and it's like, you've got payment or whatever. And so and then the whole thing is that he wants me to send me the receipt of the shipping address or like the shipping receipt before he releases the money. I'm like, that's where you get the money. Like, that's where you get the free phone without the money. Because obviously there's no money at the end of this.
Right.
And so we kind of made a video on this because it was a kind of a really funny conversation, because we, like, after realizing it's a joke, we said, I went in and just went kind of like, I just kind of said, out of the blue, my wife had left me. Kind of just go with a crazy story.
We thought we'd mess with him. We're like, okay, well, we know this is fake, so why don't we just waste his time so he's not trying to scam anyone else?
Yeah.
So we just thought, like, what's the craziest thing we could do?
So all I said out of the blue was, my wife left me. And he's like, oh no, what did you do to her? As assuming I did something to her.
Oh my God.
And so basically, just to like continue the story, I said, he's like, give me her number and I'll talk to her, because he still wants this phone. And so I'm like, obviously I give it to Mitch. Like,
he gives him my number. So now I'm his wife.
yeah. So
we're playing this now. And then he's texting me. He's like, oh, so I heard you have the iPhone. I'm like, yeah, he's trying to sell it. It's my iPhone. I want the money for me. He's trying to take it from me. I left him, blah, 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 going on this big story, making all this up. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then eventually one day, or then a little later, he's like, send me a picture of you. And I was like, okay, let's see how far we can take this. So then I'm like, I will only send you a picture of me if you send me a picture of you first. And he's like, all right, deal. So he sends me this like raunchy picture of this guy, and it's just, he has tattoos all over him. He's like the grossest mustache. You'll see it in the video. I think we're gonna put it in the video. And he sends me this picture, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, so I take a picture of a swimsuit model that I found on Google. I just searched up swimsuit model on Google, found a picture with like some advertisement, a clone stamped out the advertisement, sent it to him. That's me, right? So then I send this to him, and he's like, wow, you look so good. Because of course I'm a model, apparently.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, wow. And then eventually he's like, okay, my friend, he needs to come to Canada. He needs a written letter to come to Canada. He now wants me to import his friend to Canada. And I was like, of course. So, and then he's like, here's my friend. So he sends me 2 pictures of his friend, and his friend's like his guy sitting on a bed and like, again, in this empty room with white walls. And I was like, oh wow, he looks nice going on. And then eventually, and then I'm like, and then it goes on. We kind of like, we're like, what? Oh yeah. And then it goes on. And eventually I get to the point where like, I was like, okay, I'm only going to bring, cause now it's all about his friend. He didn't care about the iPhone anymore. And then now he's like, oh, I need you to, 10,000. I said to him, okay, if you give me $10,000 up front, I'll give you the iPhone. I'm taking it back to the iPhone. And then he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, give me your email, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, I've sent it. And I gave him a wrong email that didn't even exist, just to confuse him. Eventually he's like, and then I think he caught on eventually, but I don't know. It was just kind of funny. So we did that whole thing, and we got a lot of inspiration from James Veach. Have you ever seen that video? He responds to scam emails.
Oh no,
it's a TED Talk. It's great.
It's great.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, the video isn't quite that story. We had to cut a lot out because it's kind of, it gets boring after a while. But yeah, so we've dramatized some things, obviously, but it's really, I think it's gonna be funny. And yeah, it was so last minute as well. Like we came up with that Monday morning Monday night at like 1 a.m.
Okay.
We're like, this video isn't gonna work, it's gonna be super boring.
Well, like first our idea was to like, okay, have us sitting in like, because the TED Talk of James Beach where we got this inspiration was he's in front of a whole room of people and he's just got things showing up on the screen of his emails. He's responding to spam emails, and then he's just sitting there like repeating the emails and like kind of saying them in a funny way that adds context and tone and all this stuff. And then we thought, okay, well we could do that, but it's not going to be very interesting. It's going to be kind of boring. You're just going to have me sitting in front of a camera talking about this. So then we're like, okay, let's add a couple cutscenes. Let's add like a little more like drama in this and make it more dramatic. And anyways, we came up with this idea for this video. So
Damn, I can't wait to see how it ends. That's crazy.
Should be good.
I mean, most people wouldn't turn that into a video. So
This is basically the classic opportunity. Like it just kind of opportunity knocks. You might as well do it because we're just kind of like, this is kind of entertaining. Let's make a video about
and
it.
this out of 52 series has kind of forced us to turn anything into a video at this point because we need ideas, 52
Right.
ideas in a year. So we're like, okay, this is happening. Let's turn it into a video. Let's just do it and let's move. Like YouTube banner. Normally we would just create one, post it, not even care about it. Now we're like, let's make a video about this, and our experience is doing it.
Right. Well, that's just like how Casey Neistat, at the beginning of 2015, he was like, I have to make or 2016 or whatever, was like, I have to make a vlog every single day. And he did it. He literally took everything and put it into a compelling way every single day.
Well, one of the big things is that we always kind of thought we needed like some big premiere idea. Like it has to be like some full-fledged film idea that like to make a video about. But then we kind of quickly realized we can do a video about pretty much anything as long as you put it in an entertaining way.
Yeah.
So that's why this YouTube banner came about, because who would think like making a YouTube banner is entertaining?
Yeah.
And then sure enough, we're like, okay, we can actually make this entertaining by creating a challenge or something, and then doing that whole thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And do you find that like it's hard to sort of like with the work that you're doing that it's hard to like balance? Because for me, I just find that like when I have to like create stuff, it's hard to sometimes balance like consuming stuff like for inspiration or just for my entertainment or to relax or whatever versus like creating things. Do you find it to be hard to do that with the schedule that you work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't find it too bad. Like we are extremely busy, all three of us, because like we work 3 days a week, and then the other days we're filming our personal stuff, but we also work for like maybe 5 different companies right now doing
Like a bunch of different client work and that kind of stuff. So that takes up a lot of time too. So right now, as we're sitting here, we have 3 videos we were still pending to edit that's got to be done in like the next week or 2. So we're kind of like, we're just getting through them all, and just there's literally no breaks, like
Heads down.
sleep when you're dead kind of thing.
Yeah. So how average, what's your average night of sleep looking like lately?
It has been, lately it's like, okay, we if it's like an editing day, it'll be stay up till like 1 or 2 in the morning and then sleep in until, it depends if we need to wake up early the next day for a video. Like for the Sam Kolder video, we woke up at 5. So I went to bed at 12 o'clock, give myself a little bit of time, woke up at 5, film, and then we also had another shoot that day too, so it was all day filming, and then I think I worked that night or something.
Yeah. Like for example, for the video we just did, like, okay, so we come up with the idea on Monday, we had to write the script Monday night at like 2 a.m. I start filming the next day at 8 a.m. for our personal stuff. And then at something like 12, we have to shoot at this other location for like a tourism company. And then right after that, we have to go back to filming the other one. And then the next day, same thing, plus another shoot for a restaurant. So,
Yeah, we had 3 shoots in one day.
It was wake up at 8, Tommy comes to our house at 9, we film from 9 till 12, our personal video, 12 till 2 was the like client work, and then we go home from 2 till 4, we eat and film some more, and then 4 we go to the restaurant, film, and then we end the night there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than what you just see on our social media. A lot of it is actually like a lot of client work that we don't post because they're going to post for us.
Yeah.
Obviously, but it's a lot more work than just making weekly videos.
Right. That makes sense. And you guys do personal videos on top of all that?
Well, that's what our weekly videos are. We just call them
okay.
personal videos because like there's already a lot of corporate stuff. So we just need to find time to also film our own videos.
Because like, there's a lot of people who just do say corporate work and just client work, and we do make like a good amount of money from it.
Right.
But the reason we get the client work and promotional work is because of our personal work on YouTube, which we're not making that much money on, but it gets our following out there. And that's how a lot of clients found us. Like the tourism company we work for found us because of the firefighting video we did.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. And the firefighting video that we did, we sent it to them and they were so impressed. They want to actually potentially work with us later on with some paid work. So all the personal work we do usually ends up having some sort of monetary value to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It provides value that's like way worth more than just like asking for people.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's super sick. I'm really happy for you guys for all that. Was
thanks.
that firefighter video, by the way, a part of your 52 series?
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny
This
because
is also another good story. So that was, we originally had, if you've seen the drop bike video that we did.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
That was supposed to be episode number 1.
Okay.
Right? We're like, okay, we'll film this, blah, 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 blah. But turned
with a
out,
bang.
we're going to start with a bang. This big one, this drop bike video. We're going to go all the way to Cranbrook. Anyways, it turned out that there was the forest fires and they were too smoky, right? Or
Right.
like parents were like, I don't know if it's a good idea. You guys might not want to do this, whatever. Anyways, we're like, okay, let's postpone it 2 weeks when the smoke is gone. So now it's again Sunday night. We're like, shoot, we need a video, or we need an idea so we can start filming tomorrow. And then we were sitting around dinner, and then I was like, why don't we do a video that incorporates the smoke? Because right now it's kind of hindering us. So I was like, why don't we make a video about the forest fires and the firefighters fighting the forest fires? And then my mom was like, oh, that's kind of a good idea. That's kind of cool. And then she was like, I've heard of some like camps. They're set up here and there and all the other stuff. So the next day we can see in our video, we start phoning people. Like we start phoning like every fire hall in Vernon, Kamloops, Lumbee, this and that. None of them are associated with the camps, so they don't know. But we started phoning like random places. We started phoning grocery stores, and we ended up phoning an A&W at one point to like find somebody in the area who would know. And then eventually this one lady in Lumbee at the grocery store was like, oh, I think they're set up in such and such road. And we're like, perfect. Boom, get in the car, drive all the way out to Lumbee that day.
Easy that same day.
That same
Wow.
day, let's go. And then we're there, and then we go up there, and then we're like, oh, we'd like to film a video about your guys' thing.
A good key, like a key thing is saying that you're a high school student, like still in school. Because we had just graduated and we're like, this is a high school project. And like that gets you in a lot of places. Like
Yeah.
saying you're a student gets you in a lot of places.
It was interesting because we pull up to the camp and it's like huge. Like there's a helicopter landing. There's like a bunch of people everywhere.
Wow.
And we're like, okay, like when we went there with the intention of filming like maybe 2 interviews of people, just like not even firefighters, but just somebody that works there and like some ambient B-roll of the camp. Anyway, we get there, we go to this security tent, and then it becomes super official. They're like, oh, like, do you have a reason to be here? Oh, we're high school filming, which isn't totally not true, but it's bending the truth a little bit.
Yeah.
And eventually we talk to the guy and he gets us into like the head office of the firefighting camp.
Wow.
And there's like computers everywhere. And then we talk to this lady and she's like, okay, like we can see what we can do. Like we can get this official. And she's like, I'll give you a call back. A few days later, we end up getting a meeting. She's like, okay, can you guys come out to Lumbee today? We're like, all right. So we just send it out there right away. And when we get there, it was amazing. It was like this big thing in camp. They all knew these kids were coming to film them all. And we ended up filming like 10 different firefighters.
I saw
And
that.
yeah, it was crazy. We were not expecting that at all. And it was just amazing what just asking somebody can do, because it would be so easy for us to just look at the camp and be like, there's no way, there's security, everything like that. Yeah, so
yeah.
just asking, and now we might even have a potential client in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was really funny because they's like, oh, come out for the interview. And then we said, like, oh, sure, of course. And then now we're like, what do we need for an interview? Because we haven't done a bunch of interviews before that. So we're like, okay, we need stools so they can sit on, tripods for the camera, and lights. And then Tommy's like, okay, well, at my work, I can rent lights. And they're these huge, like probably 3 or 4 feet in diameter. We got 3 of them. Two of them. These giant lights. And for context, I have a Volkswagen Golf. So it's not the
Okay.
biggest car. So now, and these things don't collapse. So we're like,
Non-collapsible stools.
yeah, non-collapsible stools as well. So we ended up fitting 2 non-collapsible stools and these giant lights that are like probably 2 feet by 4 feet into my car, and and we're late. So now we're like ripping down the highway at
180.
ungodly speeds. And we finally get there, and then we pull out these giant lights, and like meanwhile I'm driving kind of crouched over because the light's right there. And I'm like, we gotta get there. It was kind of funny. Well, because we had an appointment. They're like, okay, come at 7. We left Kelowna at like 6:35, and we had to get to Lumbee, which is past Vernon, like another 10 minutes. So we're like, we just gotta just pedal to the metal and go. So we were like doing everyone's on cop watch, like, oh, nothing there, we're good, like fast on the straight, slow around corners, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I hope we don't get in trouble.
Passing everybody.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are safe in the future, boys. Like,
Yeah,
really.
that's just out of necessity.
Yeah.
Don't do that usually.
Definitely very cautious drivers.
It was very fortunate though, because since that was our first episode of the Out of 52 series, we hadn't announced when it was starting. So, because we had done the announcement video, and then we're going to try to have a buffer kind of thing so we could have our other video queued up, ready to go. So we actually took a week and a half on the firefighting video, which worked out because we have obviously, like, the moment you post your announcement video, the clock starts. You have to do a video every week.
Yeah.
But thankfully we were like, okay, let's postpone this a little bit so we can actually have the first video done, so we have enough of a buffer if we do decide to
And our original post date was supposed to be Wednesdays, because we're like, okay, it's like 3 days after the weekend, because we're like, oh, if we're busy on the weekend, we've got 3 days after to edit and film and do whatever, and then we can post our video. And then we're like, okay, let's not get to Thursdays, because Thursdays gives us one extra day after the weekend, and then it's like we're going to be working on the weekend and all that stuff. And then eventually we're like, okay, let's do Mondays, because then we can turn Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday into filming days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday into work/edit days.
Right.
And then so now that's Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Smart. It
Yeah.
works out well for you.
Yeah.
What do you guys eventually want out of your channel? What do you guys want to do with that?
I think, I don't know, a lot of people say that they want to be like Sam Kolder, just travel the world and make films. Like, that's obviously what we would love to do.
Yeah, of course.
But that's kind of very niche and very rare for that to happen. So I'm just thinking doing a lot of, like, basically whatever we want, like our life. Because basically people have asked us, what is this? Is this a vlog? Is this like a kind of like a series? Is this like a documentary? And we're like, we don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
We're kind of stumped on that question.
It's almost like a hybrid of them all. So it's almost like our own style, which we've struggled for so long to find, but I think we're starting to find our footing in that aspect.
You know what's cool though about that is that you essentially create your own sort of niche then. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly.
And if all these people are telling you like, yo, you guys need to be bigger, right? That just means that you got to get your niche growing a little bit more. But that's a great thing for you though, because you have something that can't be emulated so easily. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So that's really cool. That's like really, really cool.
Yeah, like one of the
So-
main things is that we want to promote our personal brand, because once people enjoy you for you rather than just the content you make, you can do whatever you want then. Like Casey Neistat, he does vlogs, but he's done tech review videos, and everybody still loves him just because it's him and it's personality and it's like his opinion on things.
Exactly.
So like Adam, what Steven said, like a lot of our videos, none of them are related. Like one of them is us making a knife, and one of them is us taking a drop bike to Cranbrook. Like they're not related at all. If you tried to do it on paper, it'd be impossible.
Yeah, of course.
But if Casey Neistat were to do that, like if it's in his vlog, then it's relatable. Like you can relate the two, because he's making a vlog one day about doing this and one day about doing that, and they're two things that aren't related, but you can make them work. So now we're like, okay, let's make this more of like a vlog style video with personal aspects in it to come, like people are coming for us rather than the content, and they just want to see what we're doing. So now we kind of trying to do that to relate the weird ideas that we have, because all of our ideas aren't like David or like analysis videos where it's like, an analysis video on this and this and this, and they're all not related. So
Yeah. It makes sense that your personality ties it all together really nicely, which is very cool. It makes it very obviously entertaining to watch. And you're right. Like saying like, hey, I'm going to do a knife video this week, and then I'm going to do a drop bike video the other week. It's like, that doesn't make any sense, but no, you guys made it work though, which is very cool. And I have a few other things I wanted to ask you. I know you guys are very tight on your schedule, so I'll try not to take too much of your time, but I wanted to ask you, by the way, who is TMS fan?
Is that on Instagram?
Yeah. No.
It's YouTube.
No.
YouTube.
That is my friend Tristan, or he goes by T-Bish. Yeah.
I had no idea who this person was. This is like revealing.
on Instagram, we have a fan account. We have a TMS Productions fan account. It's called TMS Forever.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Right.
But we didn't like it's actually, we figured it out after a couple months. It's our two close friends. They kind of set it up, and they were like getting pictures of us and all that like kind of thing. And they said they're from Alberta. And
Yeah, they're very clever because they didn't do say from Kelowna. 'Cause
Like they're 14-year-old girls from Alberta. Yeah, and they left us in the dark. We were really big idiots. We're like, no one's smart enough to come up with this idea. So yeah, we have had fake fan accounts, and yet again, TMS fan on YouTube is another fake one. Shout out to T-Bish. But he just thinks it's hilarious. He just comments on some videos. But yeah, he loves our stuff, and yeah, we know him well.
That's so funny. Damn.
I had no idea myself. Holy
I thought it was Ethan Maya, but
No.
Speaking of like different TMS accounts, whatever happened to TMS clothing?
Ooh, that's very relevant right now. So we had this idea to do clothing maybe this time last year, and we were like, oh, it'd be sick to do some shirts. Why don't we make them ourselves? So Steven and Mitch figured out how to do screen printing, bought their own little screen printing device. Never really took off just because making your own shirts sucks, I guess.
It's also sourcing cheap shirts that are actually good quality because you
Yeah.
need like the right stuff to do it with.
So, okay. Yeah, anyway, but to bring it to present day, we've actually been working on, new shirts for like the past month or so, even longer, just trying to nail down a good place to do them. And as well as, lanyards. Yeah.
Ooh.
So within the next few weeks, we should be receiving our shirt shipment. And then we're going to be launching TMS apparel off our website. Mitch is demoing the lanyard.
Very cool.
you guys can't see it. But
Yet.
It's got that classic blue and white.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we will be posting it all on TMS apparel on Instagram.
Are we doing that?
Oh, of course.
I just thought we were just gonna run it off our main account, but
Well, I think we should do both.
yeah, okay.
Planning stage here.
So yeah, this is us planning.
It is coming soon. Hopefully within the next few weeks.
What about socks though?
Yeah, that's next drop. We're gonna do like
We got the original socks because our two close friends who created the TMS Forever account for Christmas, they got us all TMS socks.
Oh.
But it was a horrible deal for them because they spent like $100 per pair of socks because they did it all through some place in the States and they didn't realize all the prices were in American dollars and like our dollar is obviously horrible. So then they spent like pretty much like $100 for like 3 or 4 pairs of socks.
Eventually one day we'd like to get like socks and a bunch of different things too, but just for our first drop of clothing, it's going to be shirts and lanyards.
Yeah.
Shirts come in black and white. Yeah.
Are you guys gonna do a classic blue and white shirt?
We do a lot of stuff. Like I like the whole TMS logo if it's just black with white because it's just super simple and like minimalistic.
Right.
But yeah, blue is just kind of overbearing in some places. Like if you were
for
to
a blue shirt, not many people like often wear a blue shirt too.
Like a bright
And,
blue shirt.
bright blue.
I know I'm wearing all black right now, but I love wearing color.
Okay.
By the way, if I can guarantee to you, if you guys made one of those shirts, you would have at least one person that would wear it. Being me.
thanks.
I like supporting the people that are doing really cool stuff around
thanks.
here. But no, honestly, I think a classic blue and white, like even if you did like a limited run or something like that,
that's
I
our
think would be
shirts.
sick.
We just did. We do a lot of like not just the whole shirt is blue, but we did a white shirt with just blue logo, just so it's like a splash of color on a white shirt.
Yeah.
which is nice because it's like super minimal and not super like bright and obvious.
just for our first round, we're keeping it super basic. But
Yeah,
we'll
that's fair.
get creative as it goes on.
We eventually want to make something stupid like a fire extinguisher or lunch boxes or something.
Trying to do like kind of Supreme-esque where we just make something ridiculous and
A
then
TMS brick.
Ooh, that would be good. Yeah, but like for ages we've had the idea of doing TMS lunch boxes like that, not just like those like soft-sided thermos ones, but like the tin classic lunch box with like the lid and everything.
Yeah.
That would be like, well, if you see those, you know we've made we've made it.
What about a TMS knife?
Ooh,
that's a good idea.
Never thought of that one before.
Handmade by the TMS guys.
That'd be cool.
I'd just be in my garage just shaping away. Just
Handmade by Mitchell.
That'd be so funny. Oh my god. And oh yeah, by the way, does Greenwood actually have the best tasting water?
Apparently it does. I remember that fact.
Did you taste it?
No. Ages ago we did because we went through Cranbrook. Going to Cranbrook, we went through Greenwood, and then I remember for the drop bike video.
Yeah.
And I remember something in my brain was like, Greenwood, they have the best tasting water.
We used to go through there for family vacations and camping trips.
right.
So that's kind of how we know about that.
Yeah, so I guess we've tasted it once, like ages ago. I don't remember what it tastes like. And then so basically I remember this thing like, oh yeah, Greenwood has the best tasting water. So I was like, so I said that in the video. That was our first time we said it. It's not like it was rehearsed or anything. And then everyone's like, okay, yeah, you're so stupid. Sure enough, look it up, and it's like Greenwood voted world's best tasting water. It was like, it's just kind of a crazy fact that I remembered.
That's super random, but that's
I know.
super cool.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of, by the way, I wanted to go a little back when you were
yeah.
talking about your feature, like, films that you wanted to potentially make. Whatever happened to Undefined?
Oh, Tommy, take us away.
Thank you. So that was created first time in grade 11, which was 2 years ago now.
No, that was grade 10. Summer of grade 10.
Oh, 3 years, maybe? A few years ago. By me and my friend Jake Boss. We were obviously inspired by like Stranger Things, if you don't know it. It's very like moody and retro themed and that kind of thing. So we made a short little teaser episode. And then in like, I don't know, November, December of last year, we decided to go all in. So we just made the most ridiculous production called...
That's our longest, like, if you look at the credits, that's our longest credits to date, because we have
Yeah, I noticed
25
that.
people in one video.
None of it was paid. We didn't pay for the actors or
We
anything.
didn't put out except for those earpieces.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't our money. Anyway, but yeah, we did like 10 or 12 different shoot days. We had like 25, 26 different people helping us, 10 different locations. It was ridiculous. We made this massive film. None of us knew how to act, so it's kind of cringy, but the filming is pretty good. And we get this question all the time, when's part 2, when's part 3? Which we would love to make, but as of right now, it's not on our agenda.
Yeah, because one of the hardest things is YouTube is all about personality, and so short films don't thrive at all. Like they do, like they get unless you just have some huge creator behind it or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, so that's why because in TMS originally we were like doing short films or doing more film style stuff, like traditional films,
Right.
Until we realized like this is not how you build an audience, because people don't care as much for good visuals as you think.
Yeah.
They care more about the person making it. So that's why we transitioned from doing short films and montages onto doing like personality based stuff and more vlogs.
Yeah. And like what we really wanted to make sure didn't happen is that we started doing this personality stuff, then we lost our quality. So we didn't want to just do like quantity over quality. So it was super important, and that's why we have to work so hard. We want to maintain the same level of quality, but also infuse our personalities, keep it fun, and actually try and connect with the audience.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because with these weekly videos, we're like, okay, yeah, there's no like, before we even started this weekly video thing, most of our videos were like 3 or 4 minutes, and that would be like a long video for us. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's happened or what's in the water, but our videos lately have been like 10 minutes, like plus, and they're totally on accident. Like we just have this idea, we go out and film it, and we're like, we have like, it's such a big idea, and we have like a 10-minute video on it. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
And yet we still have to do it in a week.
Like normally something like that, like back in the day, would take us like 3 months to edit, right? Because we were like, oh, we got like, because we'd have no like no pressure to make it, to post it. So we're like, 3 months to edit. Like the Belize videos, if you've seen those. The first episode took us 2 months.
Wow.
1 month. And then the second video took us 2 months. The third video took us 4 or 5 months.
No.
Was it?
Days.
Oh yeah. So it was okay. Well, so for the first 2 videos, it was like 2 months, then 2 months. So it was 4 months since we posted the first like video, or since we filmed it, since we went to Belize,
Right.
and then we hadn't released the third video, and then we're sitting there like, okay, we want to get going on these weekly videos. Like, let's actually kind of get a date set. And this was kind of June or July-ish, and then we're like, okay, but first we want to finish the Belize, because we don't want to stop it and then look back in the future and be like, oh, why didn't we finish that or whatever. So we're like, shoot, let's plow through this, finish these videos. So for part 3, it took us 4 days. For part 4, it took us 2.
And that was very difficult because we shot hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes of footage. So we all that's kind of what started it. And all of our editing styles have had to totally change and adapt, because before, like say I'd color grade it, that would take me probably like a week and a half. Now I color grade, and I think we do a much better job, all of us, and we can just do it in like under an hour.
Yeah.
So it's just all about, like before, for example, exactly. Before I would like sit down to edit, and then I'd mess around and go on YouTube, like you said earlier, and like try and find inspiration. But I've realized that if you want to get stuff done, you honestly, even if it sucks to start, you just got to keep going, keep trying different things in the edit, because you're going to find something that's going to work. You almost have to make your own inspiration out of what you do. And we can't not finish the video, which is great. It goes back to the whole Casey Neistat idea of you got to post it. So you have to edit it.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And now that you guys are like posting every single week and you have that sort of like workflow streamlined, how does it make you feel when you see other creators like Casey posting when he did every single day?
It's still nuts. One thing that I noticed is that there's this guy, Dan Mace. He's in his new videos now. He's great. But one of the videos he made is he said Casey Neistat only takes one take. Like when he does a talking sequence, he doesn't like rehearse it like what we do.
We like every single scene for us, like a lot of it is rehearsed. Like we got to make sure we don't stutter, or we got to make sure we don't get this wrong and get that right. And we also in front of the camera still we're talking, and then all of a sudden we kind of lose what we're trying to say, and then there's either a pause or we say something wrong, whatever. And then once we hear that Casey Neistat only takes one take, we're like,
that just blew our minds.
Does he do that? Like that's literally like.
But then going back to streamlining the workflow, that makes it so much easier.
Oh,
you
100%.
have one shot, and if it's not good, so what? Move on. But then that's also his aesthetic. It's not polished and perfect.
Yeah. That's totally Casey, which is very different from all the other things that he did. Like, did you watch that MKBHD studio tour that he did?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw, because like Marquez Brownlee, like his aesthetic is very clean, very neat.
8K on YouTube for some reason.
Yeah. And then, but when you see Casey, it's very almost opposite, where Casey like has all his wires like strewn out. Yeah. You know, you see nails, you see like very like rough patches, but it works for him.
Yeah.
You know?
But then also going back, we can't copy that because anybody, if you ever try to copy Casey Neistat, people can spot it from a mile off.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, copy Casey, like, okay, this isn't even going to be that good. Let's move on.
So every kid ever, and like every kid and their parents is doing a Casey Neistat knockoff video.
Helvetica, white and bold.
Exactly, because they just realize like, oh, if it's this easy for Casey, then why don't I do it? I should be great at it because I'm.
We went through that stage too. Don't everybody goes through that stage eventually.
Everyone's a legend in their own mind.
Exactly, and the same thing goes for Sam Kolder. Like we went through the phase of Luma fade everything, big zoom transitions, but over time, we realized, okay, like we got to do our own thing. And as soon as you start copying someone that closely, people just turn off and they'll go to a different video.
Yeah.
So we've kept some elements from Casey, some elements from copying Sam. And I don't know where else we got everything. But I think now we're starting to find our own style.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking back to about the whole Dan Mace thing, Dan, you guys are obviously referring to the Casey Neistat video that he did very, very recently.
Yeah.
Do you believe in that a fool only sleeps when he needs to?
I don't know.
I think personally, I think it'd be kind of cool to get to that point where you're so busy, you're trying to get stuff done, where you literally have no time to sleep unless it's sitting there in the green room waiting to go into an interview, right?
Yeah.
But we're all not at that point. We're all not that insane where, okay, screw sleeping. Let's do that later, right? Let's get this done. I'm kind of like, I still like my sleep. Let's go to sleep. But it's a cool concept, and I find it very intriguing, but I don't think I'd ever adopt that.
As well, like, as busy as we are, we also do find time to hang out with friends and do all that kind of stuff. We just have time to just chill. Yeah. Because, like, for now, I don't know. I want that balance still. I don't want to be so into filming that I don't actually live my own life. It's only YouTube or client work. So, I do believe it's important to work hard, but there comes a point where it's almost like, okay, I do want to have my own time. So.
Yeah, and Casey's nuts.
He's a madman.
Insane,
Yeah. And plus, he's also got his like whole life like kind of like streamlined to a T. You know, like
he's
family.
planned out how much family time he has and everything like this. Yeah, I don't think I could do that. Like, I'm too much of a spontaneous person.
Video, he talks about how much sleep he gets and like how much what his sleep schedule is, and this, or he did a video about sleep or something like that. I can't remember. It was like within the last week, I think.
Laid out the dominoes.
Exactly.
And
So he says, okay, 6:00, boom, turn to family time. And then 11:00, go to sleep, wake up at 4. It was the one where he wakes up at 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But he like has it scheduled and down to a T where our lives are always changing. Things change. Like you got to film here. You got to do this. We're going to hang out with friends tonight. All our friends are doing this. Yeah. So you kind of have to like work with that.
Yeah.
So it can't be the same.
And plus you guys are like 18, 19.
18, yeah.
18.
Yeah.
So like, come on, you guys are still so young. Yeah. You have so much life to still discover and everything.
Exactly.
Like, come on. Casey's 36, 37 or something like that, 38 even maybe. But nah, he's got his life already like figured out and everything. You guys are still figuring it out. So it makes sense. And by the way, how surreal was it to see outside of Casey's apartment?
Ooh.
It didn't really hit me as how crazy it was, but it was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like you could see, we went in the camera shop underneath. This is when we went to New York.
But we're just
few
there
years
with
ago.
all the other kids that are doing the same thing.
But yeah, it was really cool to see because when you're there in real life, it's so much different than how Casey shoots it. You're like, oh, this is where he skateboards and this is where he goes to the door. And it feels, I don't know. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It felt like,
No, it was kind of it was very like, this is the video, you see this in the video, but it's kind of weird to see it in real life. And like, I even remember like looking up into the window because his office is on the second floor, and you can see, I saw in his office, I'm not sure if you know about this, but he has that lumber box stuck up in the top right corner. I remember seeing that and I'm like, I've seen that on YouTube before. And that's when it kind of hit me. That's when I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, look at that. Like, holy moly.
Like something smart I saw was that when we were there, some other guy went up and he put a sticker on his door or like on somewhere there. So that means every time he makes a video, you can see a sticker that you placed yourself in his videos.
Wow.
I thought that was very clever because it's like
Yeah.
you can see something that was yours in his videos every time he shoots like outside of his door.
True.
I think the crazy thing that I couldn't quite grasp earlier was that Casey only shoots these select angles. When you're there in real life, you see everything. You can see the 360, and it just feels so much more surreal because it's like, oh, I know that tiny little part. It's like going on like the Friends TV show set or something like that. But then you can see all the cameras behind it and all the other aspects of it that aren't filmed.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I actually went to New York City in September.
Did you go to Casey's
and I
apartment?
went onto Broadway, and I know exactly how you guys are feeling because I felt the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, when you look inside and you see like the white roof and everything like that, it's just like,
Yeah. It's kind of like it sucks though, because when we were there, that was November of 2016. It just so happens that he was away in LA or something for that week.
Oh.
So like, it's not like there was ever a chance we were going to see him, but
I was still thinking like we didn't really know that at the time. We kind of figured out about it after because he uploads his vlogs and he's in LA or something. But
Yeah.
I was thinking like, any moment now, he could come around the corner on a skateboard, and what would I do? Like, say hi? I'd freak out because I
Yeah.
was like, this guy, he's such an icon.
yeah. You want to know a secret?
what?
My girlfriend and I were outside his apartment. We saw him in his studio. We saw him. Yeah, we saw him. And it's so weird because like you think of and I know what video like he was wearing what. We saw him, and what happened was that the girlfriend and I were just sort of chilling there, just kind of going like, this is weird. We don't want to like be weird stalker people, but we were just like looking at it from across the street just to see inside and we were just like, this is fucking weird. And then, you know, he like leaves and he comes out. He actually came out of his
So you actually saw him?
yeah, he was like his boosted board was heading in our direction, and then he went off. I'm like, yo, Casey. He's like, he looked at us, he's like, hi guys, and he like left.
No way.
Later that night at like 1 a.m., right?
Yeah.
We were in Queens, that's where our Airbnb was. So we're an hour away from anywhere in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And so Casey posted this thing saying, hey, I'm going to do this talk for this running event, and you guys should come by and check it out. And my girlfriend's like in the bathroom, like brushing her teeth. It's like 1 a.m. and I like run to her. I'm like, yo, you want to get up at 6 a.m. so we can make this talk that he's having at 9 a.m. and we do it. We don't eat any food in the morning. We just like brush our teeth, put on our clothes, and we just like take the subway. We head down to Manhattan.
Yeah.
We make it at 8:58 a.m. And his talk starts at 9. And he did his talk. I saw him in person. He was literally right there.
God.
And right at the end of the talk, he says, "Okay, guys, we're gonna have a meet and greet over at around the corner. So like, come line up and we'll do a meet and greet." And so I met Casey Neistat.
Did you take a picture
I
with him?
talked to him. I said to him, "Hey, I'm Deepak. This is Erica, my girlfriend. We're from West Coast Canada." He's like, "Oh, I've been to West Coast Canada once, I think." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." And yeah, so it was sick.
That's crazy.
And the crazy thing, that's even
Did you get
better.
a photo?
Yeah, I got a photo. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Oh,
after
that'd be
this.
awesome.
And the biggest, craziest thing about this is that he had his camera set up right where all the fans were doing a time lapse, and we're in the vlog.
No.
Me and my girlfriend are in the vlog. I'll show you.
That's sick.
Yeah, so that was pretty nuts.
That's
so,
sick. What was he like?
He's really cool. I
Yeah.
told him that, like, I don't know. It's really weird because he's very much like how he is in the vlogs. Like he was just like saying, like, whenever he would see like a fan at the event, he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's just like very animated and like friendly and everything.
That's so cool.
He was just like super nice, you know. Just we got a selfie together and it was just super sick.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I spoke to his trainer, Roberto, who's in the Olympics and everything like that.
Oh,
and
the guy with the afro? Is that
Yeah.
right?
And I was asking him, like, hey, how do I get better at running? Because I used to be a fat kid. So he gave me advice on that. And so because I took the time to talk to him, that I was, even in this time lapse, I was in the frame a little bit longer than other people. So that's why I was able to point out, like, oh, that's me. So
that's so sick. Wow.
Yeah.
Jealous.
So it was really, really cool, man. It's really funny too, because when my girlfriend and I met back in January on our first date, we were talking about Casey Neistat, and then like 6 months later we ended up meeting him.
That's so crazy. Wow.
So that was really cool. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but no, when I saw you guys went to New York and you checked out the apartment and you checked out Supreme and stuff, I was like, super cool.
Yeah, that's just like the staples.
Yeah. How long do you have to wait in line for?
For the Supreme store?
We just, because the first time we went there, or we drove by or walked by, it was a drop day. So, of course, there's a lineup out the door.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we weren't that into Supreme. So we're kind of like, whatever, let's come back another day.
Yeah.
And then like 3 days later, we went back and there was no lineup. We just walked right in, and then we could have bought some stuff. I bought 2 stickers or 3 stickers or something, and then we
Could have bought in the brick. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I could have, but didn't.
I had the brick at the store and I could have bought it, but I was like, nah, it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah, I had to wait. Yeah. Damn, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York's so insane. We were there for 10 days and I loved it.
That's
We only had like 4 or
It
5.
was a school trip, but the day we actually rolled up in New York, well, it was like a DC New York trip.
Yeah.
And the day when we were in DC was the exact day Trump got elected, I guess.
No
It was
way!
election day that we were there. November 4th, I think it was.
Yeah. So then when we were in New York, like when we did we actually broke away from the group. We went on a subway, went to Supreme and stuff. But when we were trying to go back, there was just like riots everywhere in the streets. Our bus got in a crash later. It was
What?
I know, it was a little wild, but
Were you guys afraid for your safety?
No. Throughout that whole process, we were like, this is cool. Like, not even thinking about our safety at all.
yeah, it was a weird but neat experience because we got to see it all, and yeah, it was wild. Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know, it sucks though, because we went there 2016. Our filming was like good, but like we didn't have much personality. So I'm thinking if we went back now,
So much.
it would be so great. Like,
Yeah, 'cause
we'd
to me
just
that-
think like such better videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me that sounds like TMS thing right there. You guys are so amped about making ideas for videos that like naturally going on the day that Trump got elected in DC is just like, come on.
If we were doing that now, we'd do like a whole video about being there on the day that we were getting elected.
Specifically, not like, because like back then we were into montages, so we did the whole trip as a video. But we've realized now, just travel videos are like, they're okay unless you're Unreal. But if you just break down one little part of it, it becomes so much more interesting because it's more of a story that, there's riots in New York than I went to New York. So.
Exactly. And once again, the story is what like makes your videos compelling. You guys do a very good job at telling stories. Like Tommy,
thank you.
come on, man. I got to give you props for that.
Thank
that's
you.
great.
Thank you very much.
So like all 3 of you guys though are great at what you guys
Thanks.
do. Yeah. So but let me see. I don't really have, I think I hit every sort of thing that I wanted to talk about. And by the way, your growth is insane. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, like 103,000 views in just the last 30 days.
We didn't even know that number, so that's crazy to us.
And in terms of subscribers, you guys gained 12,700 subscribers in the last month. So
No.
12,000.
Yeah, we had total. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how many we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steven's like-
I was like, we gained that in a month. Sorry.
Or sorry, no. Sorry, I read the wrong note that I have here. You guys gained 3,309 subscribers in the last 30 days.
Yes.
That's
I was like 12,000. Wow. Holy.
you guys went from 0 to 12,000.
Within the last hour, did we go up like another 8K?
I read the wrong
No,
note
that's
that I
okay.
had here. But did you guys have anything else that you wanted to sort of state, let people know about?
I don't think so. We're just gonna keep doing our Out at 52 series. We're gonna have our clothing coming soon, so watch out for that. And I don't know anything else. Plug our Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, TMS Productions _. But overall, we're just having a blast making the videos. It's hard work, but I think it's worth it because we're having the time of our lives.
It's so much fun.
Hell yeah, boys. Hell yeah. Well, you guys are at a very ripe age to do that. I actually saw somebody's comment saying on the bike video, to have the energy or to feel like I have the energy of a 20-year-old again.
Right. Yeah. Every 18. So
Utilizing it as much as we can.
Yeah, it's funny. And do you guys have any questions for me at all?
I wasn't prepared for this part. Can I ask what that is? The forks?
This? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I actually have a really shitty third microphone.
Oh, okay.
And I had
Is that a mic
stand
holder?
for it. Yeah. So I couldn't find the thing to hold the
Very
microphone.
creative.
Oh, I try, man. Thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to try to be as have as
Nice.
good at ingenuity
Yeah.
as I can.
That's fun.
what is the cloud for? Just wondering about that.
My friend Jamie, I actually have 2 more clouds in my bedroom, but I'm
Okay.
gonna put them in here because I like the way that
sick.
the cloud looks against the sparkle wall. But I just basically wanted clouds.
Are you planning to make like a sky kind of thing? Diorama?
I don't know. It definitely strikes me like that. You know what I mean?
No, I love the look of it.
It does light up.
No way.
Yeah. I can demonstrate after we're done doing this.
Yeah.
But yo, I like those questions. Those are nobody asked me those about that. Yeah, no, I actually just repainted the room in I
love the colors,
end of summer. Thank you, I appreciate that. I had to fight my family for these colors actually. So
Any
it's really,
inspiration for the colors?
well, since MKBHD likes to talk about colorware and D-brand and stuff, I was on Colorware's website and I was looking at AirPods, and I was like, if I were to make AirPods, I'd get a matte black case, and I'd also have one AirPod that like this coral color and one yellow, and I just love that color combination so much, and I was like, I have to do it. And then that idea was actually in my head for way longer than For the Culture Canada has been in my head, and it's just pure coincidence that those colors are identical.
That's crazy.
When did you start this?
Beginning of the summer.
Oh, really?
wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Wow.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like in the summertime, I was uploading 2 interviews every single week, so
Holy.
I had to put in the time for the research and consuming the content, interviewing the people, editing it, everything like that. So, yeah.
I don't know if this is like not a personal question, but is there anybody that you've asked to do an interview with and they haven't?
Yes, but I
I don't know if we should name names, but
I'm not going to name names or anything,
good.
but people have the reasons. It's nothing that I'm self-aware enough to know that people have their lives. They may be busy, they may be too nervous to do stuff like this. It's all good. Just like how you guys were saying way earlier in the interview, you just got to ask.
Yeah, that's
and
big
when I saw
thing.
your guys' work, I was just like, yo, these guys are talented. They're really clever with what they do. They have great ingenuity. And you guys are great storytellers. That's
thanks
definitely
again.
a strategy to success,
Right,
for real.
yeah.
You guys have a really cool thing going. And honestly, I totally get the same kind of vibe from Stranger Things with you guys,
Okay.
which is
Yeah.
super sick.
Wait, one more question. How do you find the people to interview? Is it just around, or do you actually have a list of people you want and just kind of knock them off?
I have a list for
Okay,
sure,
yeah.
but it's sort of people that know people,
Oh, okay,
so it's
yeah.
do you guys know who Tion Gibbs is? I'm wearing his shirt right now because he had a show.
Kamar vaguely.
Yeah, Kamar, yeah.
Yeah. What?
You didn't have the mic.
Oh, good job, Steve. I briefly know Kamar, so then I've just seen on his Instagram posted that, and I've seen you post a couple things about him.
Yeah. So Tion I've known through my brother and my bassist of my band, and so I interviewed him. He was a big interview because a lot of people know him, and he's been doing very, very well.
Right.
And so then through him, he shared the podcast episode, and at the time that was my biggest interview I've ever done. I don't remember at this point, but at the time, I think it was the first time I hit like 50 to 60 plays for the
Right.
first time.
Nice.
And that was like when I was like only like maybe a month in.
Oh,
so,
wow.
not bad,
That's
not
crazy.
bad. And then let me see. And then everybody knew of that interview. So if I would ask around to other sort of like rappers or hip hop people, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw your Tion interview. Sure, I'll do an interview with you." And then
cool,
it just
cool.
sort of was like it would just keep on compiling, you
Yeah.
know. More then people start messaging me saying like, "Yo, can I be on an interview?" So
Right.
it's like very cool that way.
That's sick.
I really want to. I'm not specifically just hip hop. I also want to do like entrepreneurs because what you guys are doing is very much like what entrepreneurs do. I think
Yeah.
that artists and entrepreneurs are very much the same, or two sides of the same coin. You guys do
Yeah,
very much the same type
yeah.
of work. So I like branching out to people like you guys that do video work, something that I'm passionate about
Right, yeah.
consuming and creating and stuff like that, and just other people too. I eventually want to get like Parlor Ice Cream. I want to interview the guy that owns that.
Wait, no, what's
We
his
know
name?
him, Omar.
Omar, yeah.
We have a solid connection to that. If you-
Really?
My good buddy Ben works there, so
Oh,
I can get him to message him or something.
that'll be awesome. I
He's a-
I follow Parlor and I love their ice
Yeah.
cream. So
Yeah, no, he's super cool. He's a
I was just going to add, if you want more filmmakers to do an interview of, I was going to say Silas Booston would be I think he'd be good because he's just turned, I think 17 now or something. Like he's quite young and he is doing stuff that we're even like, wow, how did you do that? Like he is a really talented guy for his age. And he actually just got into filmmaking because he saw us.
really,
Like he was inspired by us. And we're kind of like, how are you like, this is awesome. Like the way that he just has so much gumption, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Anyways, I feel like it'd be kind of an interesting interview.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm leaving for India actually next week. So
Wow.
I'll be there for 3 weeks. And so when I come back, I want to go like real full force
Right,
into it.
for sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Since the New York trip that I just had in September and like
Yeah.
this India trip happening, I've been sort of in like this weird little like, I don't have very much time, but I also
Yeah.
have like, I don't know what to do. It's like weird. But after that though, I'm going to definitely like look into getting those guys for this
sure,
interview,
for sure.
Because I find that Kelowna and just Canada, I think doesn't have a very, very cohesive creative culture around here. And I think that having like one place where everybody could just come together and just sort of be like, yeah, you know what, Kelowna, or even just like BC or Canada, they have a very strong creative force. You know what I mean?
It's super cool what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Would you say that your ultimate goal is to get this to be like a Canada-wide thing? Because it's for the culture Canada, not for the culture Kelowna.
You got it.
Oh yeah.
You got it. Yeah, exactly. Like if I were to ever get Drake on an interview, that'd be pretty dope.
That would be actually insane.
I don't know if that'll ever happen. But
Just message him. You never know. Just ask.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, that's mostly it. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, that sounds like it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being on the podcast. I really
Thank you very
appreciate
much
it a
for
lot. You
having
guys
us.
are friggin' awesome.
Thank you so much.
That was Tommy Dewitt, Stephen Kucher, and Mitchell Kucher of TMS Productions. They have been doing amazing work with their filmmaking, especially recently with their 52 series. Love it so much. It's so much fun. You got to check them out. They're very, very compelling filmmakers. And make sure that you follow them at TMS Productions on YouTube. Subscribe to them. Follow them on Twitter. Follow them on Instagram and everything like that. And I'll make sure that you follow us at For the Culture Canada. You know, if you go onto our iTunes page or Apple Podcast page and you rate us 5 stars, that really helps us grow the show. We appreciate it so much. Make sure you follow us on Spotify, wherever you like to listen to podcasts, and also on Instagram, Facebook as well. And we really appreciate you taking the time to check us all out, because you know what? I think Canada and Kelowna have wonderful creative culture that needs to be out there. So anyway, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, y'all.